I was almost stalling. You hear it. It's almost stalling. At present time,
Right.
full transparency, the name we're talking about is Antoine Griezmann to Atletico Madrid. Apparently, they're in talks about a loan to potentially buy. Whether it's obligatory or not is still up for discussion, and that is being debated on this site called Twitter.com. There is no agreement yet between the clubs, but Antoine Griezmann, again, no surprises here. He is open to the idea of returning to Atletico Madrid, and João Felix. He is not going to be coming the other way. Atletico Madrid has said no on that. So this
That
would
bit I
really
saw,
just be
yeah.
something to get Griezmann off the wages. And, you know, where this is progressing is a bunch of different directions. And Emile, I would actually like to hear from you first before I throw too many monkey wrenches into this.
So we talked about Griezmann, and I mean, I think even when we were kind of previewing the team prior to the season, and I think possibly even after one or both of the first league matches, my issue with Griezmann isn't what he's capable of and his potential and his tools or anything like that. Though he's a proven commodity, he's a fantastically skilled player. He's capable of excelling at the highest level. I don't know what he is in this Barca team. I didn't know what he was in the iteration of Barca that had Lionel Messi. I'm no more clear on knowing where exactly he fits in either in the hierarchy or even in the game plan, because in a sense, and we have to be careful about this. Now I've done a complete about face on Memphis, and I'm driving the Memphis bandwagon if anyone else wants to jump aboard. But Memphis is functionally doing some of the things that Messi would do. So in the sense where anyone who thought that, okay, if Messi's not there, Griezmann's going to have new possibilities and new areas that he can occupy, new responsibilities that he can take on, that didn't really happen because Messi's gone, and this other guy came in who seems, while not Messi, seems mentally dialed into what that role is and seems determined and capable of executing it. So Griezmann finds himself in the same spot where he's not a pure number 9. And he doesn't seem to kind of want to be that. He's not a midfielder, or again, he isn't trying to make that move. And even if he was, that would only further muddy a midfield situation in Barcelona. So I guess my question is, I don't know what he is. And if there is a palatable offer, I would take it. Even at the time when he was brought in. Now, I think the biggest problem was, now maybe bringing him in on the money that they brought him in on seemed more excessive, or just seemed extra problematic because of the Dembele deal and the Coutinho deal that had preceded it. So it just felt like it was another 9-figure dart, but at least this guy was fully healthy and a La Liga player, and we knew more or less, I guess we thought we knew, what he was. But even at the time when he was brought in, it didn't make a ton of sense. He just seemed like another player. I mean, he was, in a weird way, he was kind of Coutinho 2.0 in the sense that the previous regime was so enamored of Coutinho. And it was as though, I mean, I wrote this at the time for one of the sites, and I wrote this in an article that was Liverpool in the immediate aftermath of Neymar's sale. Liverpool saved Barca from themselves by not accepting 140 million for Coutinho.
Yeah.
Now, lo and behold, if at first you don't succeed, then they went and spent 160 on him and brought him in. But and I think Griezmann was sort of another iteration of that, where whether it was Bartomeu or someone in the regime was dead set on, we must get Antoine Griezmann.
Right.
Just the simple act of taking him from Atletico, rather than what does he actually do for our team. And so I don't know that it was the talk all the time when Messi was here. Can they play together? How do they fit together and everything like that? Messi's gone. I don't think we're any closer to knowing where Antoine Griezmann fits. And I don't know. The only things that I saw today were that João Felix will not be involved in any move should one come to pass.
Right.
What are the figures that they're talking about? Have you seen anything on that front?
Oh, for Antoine Griezmann, I don't think that's been released just yet.
Okay.
As far as what those would be. But yeah, when looking at this window overall, I think it's all connected to Messi and the future all at the same time. Where when you're talking about Busquets and Alba today also taking slashes on wages, apparently Pjanic and Umtiti, if they stay, they'll take a small cut on wages. Still waiting on the Sergio Roberto. Apparently they want a second look at those talks. And then PK, of course, took the huge pay cut.
He's already done
you lose Messi. And I'm caught between two minds. I'm caught between the mind that Barcelona, the wonder on why waiting on Messi wasn't possible. And it does look bad on the club that it's going to seem like, especially if Antoine Griezmann is able to be moved, that Messi would have been possible. And it looks bad on the club. It's going to continue to look bad on the club, even if Griezmann leaves. That's why I do wonder, and I do have that question mark, was Messi ever going to be possible, even if they moved all this off? Because what is the accounting that we don't understand, right? We think we have an understanding of the numbers. We think we understand all that. And that's why that 75 million euros that Dani Olmo was thrown out for all of 10 minutes, that's why immediately that's easy to throw out, because Barcelona, for a move like Antoine Griezmann, are they making it for a tactical or for an actual reason that matters on the field? I think the answer is no. I think it's a necessary move to be made regardless. And I think if they keep Messi around and they try to do that, and every club in Spain knows that Barcelona cannot register Messi and register that team and make all that happen, including Memphis. Memphis, remember, if Messi's there, Memphis is not registered at all. Yeah. And of course, people will take Messi over Memphis, let him sit in the stands. Fine. That said, I don't think there was any indication to Barcelona that they would be able to move Griezmann, which I think was always going to be the domino. I mean, that's even said that if he's not gone yet, we don't know if Antoine Griezmann is going to be gone. So if Antoine Griezmann in the 11th hour on a deadline day, that falls through, now you can't register Messi, you can't register Memphis Depay, and Antoine Griezmann is the only player you have. And I think it was a risk reward thing that Barcelona had to go for. And of course, the risk is getting rid of Messi, and there's no bigger risk than that. And so I think the club will always come out of this, even if Griezmann has moved on, looking poorly because of the timing. Now, I don't mean to drum up some conspiracy theories or try to be the optimist, but as an ever-present optimist, I look at this Griezmann move and I say, even though it's a loan to buy, I think this is towards the future. And there's some irony in this too, because Griezmann, in the preseason and in these first few matches, the only time where he has really had any success offensively is when Memphis Depay, just like Olivier Giroud, just like Diego Costa. I'm trying to remember the old Real Sociedad striker that he worked with, but just like that, when they put their back towards the goal and they kind of sit back on the defense, right? And they move up into a center back, and then Antoine Griezmann plays off that action. Yes. That's where we've actually seen him succeed. And the irony is the only way Barcelona potentially brings in a number 9 next summer is by getting rid of Antoine Griezmann. Right? The only way to get that player that they need to play with Griezmann is to get rid of Griezmann. And there is some irony to that. And that said, that's why I think, and here's my big conspiracy theory. This is where this is a safe space. This is my podcast. So I do think that Barcelona are in on Haaland next summer, and not really January, but I do think they're in on him next summer. And the reasons are that, one, we talked about Laporta and Mina Raiola having some kind of connection, some kind of relationship, sure. But I also think that and I know if you go anywhere, you go to the Daily Mail and all these places, that Haaland is definitely going to the Premier League. He's definitely going to Real Madrid. He's definitely going to PSG. That is a lot of smoke, and that's smoke that we hear all the time about Haaland. The fact that we haven't heard more about Haaland, and I know clubs don't have any money, but the fact that City was more in on Kane than they were on Haaland does make me raise eyebrows. The fact that United eventually said to Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, okay, well, fine, it's fine, we'll take you back, that does raise eyebrows. The fact that PSG are saying, hey, we need to hold on to Mbappe, even though if Real Madrid, who apparently just sent 220 million euros, that PSG said, obviously, we don't care about the money because we're financial fair play doesn't apply to us. I mean, they got Messi, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Nuno, Mendes, Wijnaldum, and yeah, right. It's a ridiculous transfer window that I'm not possibly being myself to compliment because it's not real. It's fake. Money is not an object, and if money is not an object, you're the one club in the world that it doesn't matter. Then obviously those things are going to happen. Okay. All that said, PSG obviously could still be in on him next summer if they lose Mbappe for free to Real Madrid. But the fact that they weren't willing to let Mbappe leave for that money and then immediately turn around to buy Haaland also makes me raise an eyebrow. As if some of these other elite clubs were alerted to the fact that Haaland maybe is already leaning in one direction and he's just waiting for that club to find all the funds that they need to make that move. So I don't mean to create some kind of conspiracy there, but there's a little bit of belief that Haaland next summer might be possible based on this summer and even getting right. And now if you change that question and say, hey, if you had to lose Messi this summer in this way, because Barca couldn't take the risk that they were going to not be able to register him and Memphis, but that also meant that you were probably going to get Haaland next summer, would you take that deal? And I also don't want to we've been hurt too many times, Emile. As Barca fans. That's why the Dani Olmo 75 million was like, that doesn't make sense, but also maybe it does make sense. Does Hector Bellerin, did that make sense for a second? Does all these nonsense moves make sense? Because Kevin Prince Boateng was at our club 2 years ago.
Because so many of them actually happen. For all the ridiculous ones that you hear about that you can kind of dismiss out of hand, there's been enough of these odd moves. Everything from the sort of the financial 3-card money that we played with Arthur and Pjanic, and like you said, Kevin Prince Boateng was on the team, and look, I have in this space, I am generally kind of pro and positive on Martin Braithwaite, but Martin Braithwaite was picked up at the 11th hour for reasons that continue to confound me. It's, not that he's an incapable player, but the reasons that Barca got Braithwaite when they got him, even at the time, just seemed really like astounding and weird.
Well, and if Griezmann goes, Emile, that means Martin Braithwaite is certainly a starting player for FC Barcelona all year.
Yeah, no, he's vital now. If Griezmann goes,
Martin Braithwaite can't be vital, right? We watched him. He had the 2 goals. That was fine. But you cannot have Martin Braithwaite be, again, I've been working on this number 10. I keep plugging it for weeks now, but I've been working on this number 10 big YouTube piece where I went through all the players in history that wore the number 10. And there was a lot of overlap too with number 9s. Listen, I went through the history of the number 9s and number 10s at Barcelona. There are players that were not deserving of those jerseys. And Martin Braithwaite also wears 12. So this isn't even his fault. He's going to be expected to contribute if Griezmann leaves this fall as a number 9 or a number 10 at FC Barcelona. And that is way too much on him. He just doesn't fit in that same class. And it's no disrespect to him.
It's not what you want.
Right. And it's no disrespect to him. It's just that's the state that Barcelona find themselves in. Exactly.
Right. No, he's a perfectly viable option and a good starter. And he's possibly the best player on mid to lower mid-table clubs, in whether it be in Spain, France, England, wherever he goes. But no, he can't be like, Barca's wagon cannot be hitched so firmly to Martin Braithwaite's star. Like, it just that doesn't work. Things have gone wrong if you find yourself in that situation. So alas, we actually might find ourselves in that situation. But I don't know. So based on that, do you think that, so would you keep, or would you kind of shelf plans to move Griezmann along based solely on that prospect?
Yeah, I think it does affect the way you're building your squad this year. If they go in on the last second of this deadline in another 2 hours for Luke de Jong of Sevilla, it's not a move anybody wants, but it's a move that they might feel like they have to make out of necessity. And as long as that does not financially hamper you 6 months from now or a year from now, as I said, that's what this matters, right? Like, the reason Coutinho and Umtiti and Pjanic are a problem is because their contracts are for more than just this year.